everyone, and welcome back to round 2 for the February Adelaide Eternal Highlander Challenge. I'm Drew Carter, and I'm here with Beckett Wolfe.
G'day, guys.
Here we have a great matchup between James Arthur, I believe, on the left, and Michael Hearn on the right. James is on his sweet 4-colour tempo / mid-range list, and Michael's playing a big red artifact-based list, like big red, which is been around a while, but he's audibled off the blue red back to the straight red. Do you want to talk about James's list first?
Yeah, James's list is pretty cool. It's like first glance, it looks like a classic 4-colour mid-range list, but most of these 4-colour mid-range lists, like Greed Creep, are trying to get 2-for-1 value and be real dedicated mid-ranges. This is actually a bit more aggressive, and it's called Rug White.
I think Sarven gave it that name.
Okay, well, it's obviously he's seen it as Rug Life splashing white. But when I first looked at the list, I was like, oh, it's just like a four-color list. But I've got to agree with him. I've put a lot of thought and energy into keeping my decks more aggressive, and you can still play really good cards that stay aggro. And you can see like cards like Glorybringer and Questing Beast, sort of mid-range cards, but they're on the more aggressive side because they've got haste. So that's the top of his curve there. And then he's also playing, stuff like Wild Nakata or Hexdrinker, Elvish Reclaimer to really be like an aggro list, isn't it? His points are Oko, True Name, Snap, Waste Strip. So he's also got a Landlock sort of, well, not Landlock, but that plays on the aggro nature as well. And then he's got Titania in the sideboard, so he's happy to go mid-range. And I've played against him before, and a lot of our games do go late, and I don't feel like I'm generating extra value off him, despite the fact that he doesn't have as many 2-for-1s. Yeah,
I mean, I think the origin of this deck was that definitely when Ren and Oko were both 0 points, James felt they were just both must-play threats, and so that was a bit of a Greed Creep response to these crazy kind of 0-point cards that came out. And Teferi Time Rail was another one as well, just totally busted kind of distortion of the game. And yeah, this is, so it's 4 colours, but it's also got the waste and strip recursion because of the Ren 6. So the mana base is really taxed.
It is taxed, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's after a lot of testing, including with me, he's put in 2 basics. He used to have none. He's got the forest and the island now, and he's up to I think about 22 lands, where he was even down to 19 at one point. Quite really low to the ground, a lot more 1-drops, but he's gone bigger. Probably because of the mid-range meta in Adelaide.
That's right, and I think it's safer to go a bit more lands, especially if you've got Wasteland or Strip Mine, because you can sort of cycle those lands in a sense.
Yeah, and I think he said he was putting a bit too much effort into Pondering Preordained for the 3rd land, where he just wanted to draw it. Yeah, he's also got Tribal Flames. That's the new one as well.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I like Tribal Flames.
What does that do again?
It's like evasive action, so it's domain, so it's equal to the amount of card type, so it'd be 4 in this case, unless he's playing Bayou for the Deathright Shaman.
No.
Okay, so it'd be 4. So it does 4 damage too, I think. Target creature
2 mana?
Yeah, 4 damage for 2 mana. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's sweet. That's like a kind of Boris Charm to the face, or really good removal.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So I wonder how he's going to go against Michael. So James is in the Hall of Heroes. He's won Legacy and Highlander, and he's been absolutely on a tear with his 4-colour tempo list here. We'll just pull up Michael's list, who's also in the Hall of Heroes for Vintage.
Also, James notably is the Adelaide champ for representing in a AE Cup. So he's going to be the rep for Adelaide after winning the GG's event. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what he sleeves up. So Michael, he loves busted mana and kind of broken cards, whether that's combo or kind of big spell combo or ramp strategy. So he's been doing really well with blue-red artifact-based list, but he had a few losses recently, probably prompted him to experiment a bit more. And so here's a red list. Red's been around 5 years. It's a traditional kind of ramp list that's always done fairly well in Highlander. It's got the Blood Moon angle, which gives it that extra just prison element. Mystic Forge is just a totally broken kind of draw spell in these artifact-based lists. It's got a lot of fast mana. His points are Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, Tolarian Academy, all big mana there, and in addition to Wasteland and Mishra's Workshop. Does he have Crucible? No, he doesn't have a recursion element in that respect, but...
I mean, Dust Bowl sort of does that-ish. You got the mana for it. I also really like Ugin the Ineffable. How do you think Michael's Blood Moons are going to line up against James's 4-colour list?
Well, they're really good.
Yeah.
Even the Blood Sun is okay. But the problem with James, if you attack his mana, you've got to do it quickly because he can deploy threats where he can just kill you with the Wild Cattle he's already got, plus his red burn and his red creatures like Bone Crusher Giant.
More. Yeah, and then exactly right. I mean, he's got playing only 4 dorks, but that's 4 dorks more than a lot of other lists. And you're absolutely right. If he plays Dork turn 1, he's covered versus Blood Moon. But also if he plays Wild Nacatl turn 1, and then I don't know some other threat turn 2, Crusader Protomage, it's quite a lot of pressure.
Yeah, the thing is, you've got to get the Blood Moon down very quickly, which Michael can, or you've got to get it down and then find a way to sweep the board with. And Michael could do that with some Welder shenanigans with Duplicant or Solemn Simulacrum. The Steel Hellkite's really good at just sweeping the board. Metalworker gives busted mana to help with that. Wormquill Engine would be a big problem, although James has got the white interaction. He's got like swords to play. Oh, does he? No,
yeah, he's got swords.
No, I don't think he has swords because it gives him life.
Yeah, I think he's got swords main and path in the sideboard.
Yeah, so that's good. He's got some white removal. All right, so let's go down to the match and have a look and see how they go. They're just rolling now to see who goes first. All right.
And it's James on the left and Michael on the right. Yeah.
Yep. So who's favoured?
I think. Oh, it's tough. So tough with these big artifact decks, right?
I think Tempo is well positioned against artifacts because if you can see the artifact list as a kind of combo list, then the Tempo element like Spell Pierce plus Goblin Guide or equivalent is really good against combo. You can Spell Pierce the Mana Crypt or whatever. Here's James's hand. Brazen Borrower and Cleek.
That looks like a good hand.
That's a fast hand. That's got big mana. It's got Mishra's Workshop and Tolarian Academy. So just the land go from James. I'm expecting something a bit bigger here.
What I really like about James's list is it took me... I was like deep into game 2 before I realised he was playing aggro. Because his hand happened to line up that it was quite a mid-rangey sort of hand.
Yeah.
And it was perfectly fine. And then I was like, oh, he's playing Wild Nacatl, what?
Yeah, he's trimmed down the 1-drops. He's not on Figure of Destiny and stuff anymore.
But he's still playing Mantis Rider. Like, that's an aggressive card. I've never seen anyone else play Mantis Rider. I think Haste... Do you know what? I think it's less that aggro is very favoured. I think Haste is very good right now.
Yeah.
Because there's so many strong Planeswalkers. You look at cards like Questing Beast and, as we've discussed, Glorybringer, and I've really found Strangleroot Geist in my junglist to be really strong right now. So I just think Haste is really well positioned, but that's not going to be great versus Michael, I don't think. Although he's got like 5 Planeswalkers, right?
Yeah, more, I think. He's got a lot of walkers. Here's something big. Sundering Titan. That's huge. He's only going to hit 1 land at this point.
That's pretty massive. On turn 3 on the play?
Turn 2.
Turn 2 on the play. Okay.
Turn 2 on the draw.
Okay, yeah. That's pretty crazy. So he hits a Tundra, but there's still the big thing. Keep that in mind. It's not just the land destruction.
7/10.
Yeah, it's not just land destruction.
It doesn't have trample though.
No, but it's got a leaves play ability. I don't think it's die or exile. It's actually leaves play. So, there's no way you can like exile it and get around the land destruction aspect.
So even if you survive the 7/10 by removing it, you're going to lose another land.
Yeah, that's right.
And James is going to struggle here because
he needed swords there, I think.
Yeah, he has to get a non-basic here because he doesn't have mountain or swamp in his deck. Scrubbing. Okay, so there's white mana. So he's playing to his outs, which is just swords, I assume, at this point.
But why is he even fetching it a turn? Brazen Borrower.
Okay, that's a good answer because it won't be coming down.
Yeah, because the mountain's been destroyed and the mana vault's tapped.
That's good. That's a source of damage as well. James can.
Okay, all right. Back on the front foot, so to speak. Slowing the game down quite a lot though.
Yeah, I don't. James needs a lot of coloured mana, so the Wasteland's not holding him back from deploying threats, really. That's a great response. Some more big mana from Michael.
Now that's backbreaking, because I think not only have we already lost a lot of lands from James, but he doesn't have any basics and the threats aren't out. Like, the difference between if he had like Nacatl out here on that turn 1, with this game being slowed down with the mana destruction on both sides, the slower the game gets, the more Nacatl chips away, but it's not happening here.
You've got a third of a Nacatl in the tapped mana crypt, tapped mana vault.
But you can see the difference, right? Like if there was an Akadal out turn 1,
Yeah.
you could see the difference between,
Although
Mike would
only
be under
2-2.
heaps of pressure.
Be a 2-2.
That's true.
Yeah.
But Mike would be under a lot of pressure.
Could be a 1-1 actually. No,
This is Mountain.
okay, Mountain. Yeah. So Michael's turned off his own Tolarian Academy, but he's got the Lone Wastes to help cast the Thornot Seer in his deck. He's got lots of big mana again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana again. So I'd untap the Mana Vault at this point, unless he's got a better play.
Yeah. You have to untap it in upkeep though, right?
Yeah. So what can James do here?
There he is, yeah.
James,
I don't think he can do much.
he can kill with a Bone Crusher Giant or a Glory Bringer.
It's Glory Bringer, but to be honest, getting to 5 is pretty tough for James. In any given circumstance, and he would rely on Dorks, I think, a lot of the time to get there. Or, as I said, that like natural progression to late game, which does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
But he's already had land destruction effects against him.
Yeah, he's seen like 5 or 6 lands. That's always a scary sign when the ramp player's kind of counting out the mana. It's up to 7, I believe. 6.
What James is discarding to hand size. That's it.
Yeah, it just scoops to the near Battlesphere. So that was a great game from Michael.
Yeah.
Had the perfect land destruction.
Well, that's what you want to. That's why you play the deck, right? If you've ever sleeved this deck up, it's because, and you say like, my deck can do this on turn 2. That's one of those moments, isn't it?
Yeah, he had 4 points in his opening hand. He had Workshop, Tolarian Academy, and Mana Vault. So that's like having a call. So 4 points in your opening hand is pretty good. Okay, so what does James do?
James is definitely bringing in Cindervines, Collector Ooth, Force of Vigor, just right off the top. Those 3 look absolutely backbreaking. I don't think there's much else, to be honest. Containment Priest isn't good. Michael's not cheating out the spells.
Return to Nature, did you say that?
I didn't. No, Return to Nature is another one. I don't think that'd be backbreaking, but it's like a versatile sideboard card, right?
Oh, it's good. If it kills...
I think it's worth playing in your sideboard, but it doesn't break. It's not like a silver bullet for any of these guys.
No, but you can get a turn for 1.
Stony Silence as well would be coming in for sure.
Yeah.
So that's actually quite a lot, isn't it? It's 5.
Yeah, James has tested against my AE Eldrazi a lot and beaten it quite well, so he's definitely well prepared for artifacts. He's also got the main deck Korsali Pride Mage as well.
Yeah, he does too. And Oko would be decent in the matchup.
Definitely.
What do you think he's cutting? I think he wants to stay pretty fast, and I think he wants counters for the big tap-out spells.
Yeah, I'd take out Chain Lightning. It's a bit low impact.
I'd agree. Chain Lightning, maybe Tribal Flames. Maybe even
True
Lightning
Name.
Bolt, but...
Yeah. Take out maybe Glory Bringer. Having a red threat's good if they Blood Moon you, but...
Plus, as I said, the haste is good versus Planeswalkers.
Yeah, but the game's decided within the first 3 turns, I would say, or 3 or 4 turns.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's an interesting theory. Yeah, I like that.
Alright, so let's see what Michael's got. So he's probably well positioned main deck. Batterskull's good with the life gain against an aggressive deck.
Yeah. And Rolling Earthquake's cool. I like Rolling Earthquake.
You might bring in Chaos Warp if he anticipates like a Nullroid effect. He's got Crucible in the sideboard.
Fiery Confluence also.
Yeah, just as a sweeper.
Sweeps, yeah.
I like Ensnaring Bridge against an aggressive deck. I think that's an extremely powerful asymmetrical card, which is underexploited in the Highlander. So he'd want to win off the Planeswalkers if he gets the Ensnaring Bridge out. He's got Pyroblasts and stuff. I wouldn't really bring them in.
No, I wouldn't. No. 4 colour, the last thing you want is a Pyroblast in hand and they just, play a normal curved game.
He's got Rolling Earthquake as another sweeper. He's got Trading Post, that's for life gain.
Yeah, Trading Post does gain life and makes dumb idiot goats, I think. To chump block.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, you wanted to try it in AL Eldrazi, but I couldn't quite get there.
Maybe it's a sideboard card.
Yeah, Vandal Blast. Is that Artifact Destruction?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so he doesn't need that. So there's quite a few cards there you could bring in, like 5, 6, 7 even. Winter Orb's probably just a wish target for Karn Great Creator if he's in a good position.
I was actually really interested in what Michael's anti-artifact sideboard
would
be.
Well, there's James. He's brought in Hydro Blast.
Because you can't play like artifact sweepers.
He's taking out Burn, Mental Misstep, Spell Queller. I like those choices.
I agree. Spell Queller doesn't need to be in there.
No, I mean, Spell Queller can be really good if it hits their Mana Crypt or their Rock, but it can be really bad too if they're just casting 5 drops and 7 drops.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Vandal Blast is a sweeper, but only for your opponent.
One side,
so that's a really good one. Fiery Confluence might be another option. Destroy 3 artifacts. He's not playing it.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he is. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's all amped up for the ramp mirror, which is relevant in Adelaide. Quite a few people have played artifacts, including me. But I dropped AE Eldrazi for the time being because James kept whooping me. Because he just had the perfect combination of like cheap threat and cheap interaction. He'd counter my Grim Monolith or something, and it would take me too long to get in the game. I tried to like leverage a mid-range element, but he could just tempo it out or keep up with it with his own cards. So I wonder if Michael's cracked the code here with just the red version with the main deck Blood Moons and stuff.
Yeah, main deck Blood Moons are so good, right? Like, you know, in a deck that relies on its lands as well.
Yeah, it's quite bold, isn't it? It doesn't have a lot of filtering either. Cindervines, Hydroblast, that's good. Good interaction.
Was there 2 lands? Tundra and Wood of Foothills, maybe? Maybe I'm seeing things, but...
There wasn't many lands.
If it's Tundra, then you can't actually play the Cindervines immediately. Nor the red and 6. It's one of the issues with the 4-colour deck, especially the aggro 4-colour deck, is you want to fill it with 1-drops. I think we're saying this. You want to fill it with 1-drops, but you're less likely. You know, like the 4-colour Greed Creep really wants to play Leovold turn 3.
Yeah. Well, here's the possibility.
But the aggro deck really wants to play, you know, Hex Drinker turn 1. And that's harder in a 4-colour deck.
Well, this is a good start from James. He's got his own ramp. But I think we're going to see something explosive from Michael here, because I saw Mana Crypt, I also saw Mana Vault, and I saw Mages of the Moon. But it's not going to come down because he might not have the red mana.
Oh, it's a lot of mana though, isn't it? What are we looking at? 4, sorry.
He's also got Mana Crypt in his hand, so can he get Mycosynth Lattice? He can't get it straight away. He's still got...
Mana Crypt's been cast. Do you mean
Mana Vault? I think he had Mana Vault as well.
Okay, yeah, well, he just didn't need it, did he?
So he's got... How much has he got left over?
He's got none fighting right now.
Okay. I find Hearn quite actually surprisingly weak at this point in the game.
I agree. Early on, it doesn't do heaps. You want a late game when you can do that Mycosynth Lattice lock. But, you know, turn 1 Planeswalker is always going to be decent, isn't it?
Yeah. It's good if you can bash in with like a Thran Dynamo or something, do 4 damage, or I suppose then you'd rather just fetch for a Worm Coil or something. Or...
Would you rather the other Hearn in this position?
Yeah, definitely. Because you're going to get selection, card advantage,
you can make
board
3/3
presence.
as well.
Yeah. The Karn Sign's better very early in the game. So Karn's a really good late game threat. Like I've taken out an 8-drop and put in its place Karn because I treat it as like a late game lockout. But it's got the advantage of being playable in the early game. But he's probably doesn't have many good targets at this point because he's brought them all in, to be honest.
Well, I remember when I was playing Eldrazi and I got an early Karn, I would just go like neg, find a Relic of Progenitus or whatever, cycle
some random value.
Yeah. And there was usually little pressure for him, but it's not really backbreaking, is it?
Yeah, I mean, Michael here, okay. So he didn't bring the Batterskull in, he's kept it in his board, so that's good. He'll be able to cast it in Eternal too. So that's a good use. Although it puts the Karn in Lightning Bolt range, but I think James is light on Lightning Bolts because of the way he's boarded. So he's got the value play of Ren 6, get back land. Can't get a bait. Oh, I could get Forest here. He might do that. No, he doesn't. So his hand's obviously colour dependent. He might regret that if the Mage to the Moon comes down. But I
think he's almost behind here. So if you're behind, I think you got to play a bit riskier. He doesn't have the luxury.
Oh, he had the Bolt. Yeah, that's always a question.
That was a good turn from James, wasn't it?
Yeah, double spell.
Because I'd be happy going, yeah, all right, Karn got bolted, but I got my Batterskull. It's not the end of the world. You know, it's one less bolt to a face or another creature, but the Ren 6 out there as well.
Yeah.
Means now James is really generating the value every turn, isn't he?
He's going to have his 4 mana next turn. So maybe I didn't see the Mana Vault, because wouldn't you? I'll just jam Mana Vault.
No, there's Mana Vault. I can see it right now.
Okay, so Mana Vault Batterskull, unless you have another land.
Misstep.
No, you bought it out.
Okay.
Out. Yeah. Oh, Wasteland's good, but it's not great against Ren 6.
No, although if you're going to use the Wasteland, you want to do it now,
Just
right?
use it now so your Batterskull can get a swing
you either use it now or you just treat it like mana, as in tap it for mana.
Yeah, you probably just keep it for mana because you want to untap those Grim Monoliths and mana vaults with your 4 mana. He's gaining life off the Inventor's Fair as well. I think we didn't have it that turn, but he'll have it next turn. And that's surprisingly relevant.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, especially when you're losing life off your crypts and your vaults and stuff.
Well, you're a guy who has added Pristine Talisman to your artifact deck, so you love the old gain of life a turn.
Palace Jailer here would be absolutely brutal. I'm so scared of that card at all times.
Yeah, James loves it. James has double white cards, double green cards, double red cards, and double blue cards. He's got all double pips in all 4 colours.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is greedy. What's his
plus
double
waste
white?
and strip? Palace Jailer.
Oh, of course. I just said
Yeah.
that. Cinder Vines, that's going to be very strong.
Yeah, so we knew that was there. And the Ren 6 has helped fix the mana a bit to make sure that can come down. That's some nice damage as well. So look at the board now. James is totally in command. Michael's taken damage from his own cards. He can't get rid of the mana crypt anymore because that was when he had Hearn, that was a possibility to destroy
to 0.
Yeah, 0 your own crypt, which is surprisingly relevant in the late game. So now
he needs another one. I mean, he's had sort of 2 big threats in a row. You'd think that would do it versus a mid-range / aggro list.
Well, the Hearn was because the Hearn was just like a 2-for-1. Well, it was probably a 2-for-2, given that he tapped the Grim Monolith.
Yeah.
So the Hearn didn't do much.
The same with Batterskull, right? Batterskull was a 2-for-1 against him.
Because he took the damage.
Because he's had to use Mana Vault to cast it.
Yeah, you're right. So he's down on cards.
He's down on cards,
tempo and life. So
and board.
Yeah, James has had the premium cheap interaction that's lined up just perfectly with Michael's threats. And that's what I found when I was playing AE Eldrazi. Like, you pay 5 mana, you tap a Mana Vault for your Batterskull, and then you just get it Cindervined or...
Spell Pierced or Dazed.
Yeah, exactly, Dazed, and it's like, okay. So yeah, you only really get like 3 threats before you're just depleted.
Well, also notably, Michael didn't cast a threat that turn, which means he's either absolutely got nothing going on or he's trying to untap Grim Monolith, but it's not a good sign, is it?
He might be keeping up mana to search with the Inventor's Fair end of turn.
Oh, and he's Bone Crusher Giant. Bone Crusher Giant is so good. Even there, I mean, that's Bone Crusher at its worst, right? Going 5 mana for a 4/3 that shocks on ETB, and especially against a deck like this, and it still feels really strong. I think you were talking about Brazen Borrower before about how, it's a 2-drop, a 3-drop, and a 5-drop, which gives it a lot of flexibility as far as your curve goes.
Yeah, so now he's just putting the pain on because it's doing crashing in for 5 damage with the Exalted as well. That's big. So Michael untapped the Grim Monolith. He's got a lot of mana. What's he going to do with it?
More Power Stone, more mana.
More Power Stone. That's not going to do anything until next turn.
No, it better be a really good next turn.
Yeah, what would do it? I mean, if you had Steel Hellkite now and then it survived and he could clear the board, that'd be sweet. But it doesn't look like he's got that because he'd just jam it. So that's bad. I don't think he's got anything in his hand. I think he's just got mana. But he's got tutoring.
Well, he's got Inventor's Fair.
He's got Inventor's Fair, yeah. So,
but he'd need to tap the Grim Monolith to activate it now anyway. So it's two turns just to search for a Wormcoil Engine, right?
He's got 12 mana next turn if he needs it. If he sucks the Crystal Vein. So that if you take away 5 for the Inventor's Fair, you could get near Battlesphere.
Well, he can search for Wormcoil Engine end of turn, right? By tapping Grim Monolith and then untap and cast it.
Yeah, true. That's pretty good. Oh, there's that haste. Glory Bringer, bringing the glory. Dipping him down to 4, which is precarious when you got Mana Crypt in play.
Yeah, that's right. And Wormcoil wouldn't do it anymore, would it? Because the Glory Bringer just goes over the top.
Yeah. Near Battlesphere is something.
Oh, James has curved that really, really nicely.
It's perfectly, yeah. It's tapped. It's maximal mana usage.
And he's still got cards in hand as well. But maybe that's a testament to Renan's 6, that he's able to hit his land drops every turn.
Yeah.
And then he's just drawing gas off the natural draws.
Yeah, so Michael didn't have anything. He could have. I think he could have tutored earlier and with the Inventor's Fair to give himself a better chance. But
Instead of untapping Grim Monolith's tutored.
I don't know. At some point, I'm not sure when exactly, but...
Well, if you had turn 1 Khan, I'd be playing turn 1 Khan.
Yeah. But then he lost it. So maybe cause the thing is, if you uptick the turn 1 Khan, it's harder to kill, and the Mycosynth lockout is a lot more threatening on turn 3 or 4. But yeah, like that was never going to work because James had kind of threats and just curved out perfectly had the right chip interaction. So back to the drawing board. Michael's sideboarding again. He's changing a few cards now that he's on the play again. That might change things.
Yeah, well, I would have thought Batterskull's main board as well.
Yeah, he should have. I would side it in against James.
Maybe Blood Moon's in on the play and out on the draw.
Yeah, but he had Magus or the Moon in his hand, but he didn't draw any red mana through the game.
Mm.
He could have Inventor's Fared for red mana and then cast Magus, but wasn't going to do enough with the mana dork. And he would have turned off the Ren and 6 somewhat. I'd probably side out Khan the Great Creator against the Tempo deck because it's just a bit slow.
Yeah, I'll pay that.
Yeah,
I'll pay that.
Yeah, that's a spawn of experience.
And especially like even if you do get the late game Mycosynth lock, it's not really a lock if they can just swing the Khan and release themselves.
Yeah. So I think Michael took out Rev and Pyroblast then and put something else in, some other red cards. Like Fiery Confluence, I think, probably to sweep the board.
So who are you liking? Still liking James on the draw? Game 3?
Definitely, yeah. He's just got just got very cheap interaction. He's got the right combination of fast threats and cheap interaction. And so to beat that, you needed just a broken hand, and you can get the broken hand, like Michael did in game 1, but you normally don't.
Wait, got the broken hand in game 2?
He did. You just didn't have the premium threat.
We had the broken mana, and he had threats to cast.
Yeah.
He had things to do with his mana every turn.
Yeah. But James had the right interaction. So maybe James, his hand lined up well. James has Oko and Daze. I think that Daze is going to be good. Oh, and Michael's had to mull. That's unfortunate. But that's okay. Like, you can mull quite well when you have like a Mishra's Workshop deck. Remand, Brazen Borrower, Oko, lands. If he has Daze, that's putting him in a very good position.
Especially with Brazen Borrower.
Yeah. Why is that?
Oh, I like the idea of being able to let something resolve and Brazen Borrower and then force them to recast or cast something else and then daze them. You can get them twice, kind of thing.
Yeah, unless they get the extra land. But yeah. So Michael's having a good shuffle. That's always a good idea when you need to mull. Let's hope he can keep his 6. That Oka's going to be good too. And because Michael doesn't have the red Elemental Blast and the Pyroblast to deal with it in this game. There's a Mountain, so he's got his red mana this time. And there's a Wasteland.
I always know when the game's more relaxed, the players don't show their hand to the camera. But I do it as well when I'm like, no, I'm focused on the game. I don't care about the commentary. I don't care about the audience. I'm here to win. And these guys are obviously one each, and they want to get it.
I think Michael's feeling the pressure now that he's down to 5. Trinisphere is really good against tempo decks.
Well, that's right. I mean, he could just land an Ensnaring Bridge or something and call it a day, right?
Yeah, I mean, James has a few removal, but
he does. But I mean, that he might not find. There's only so much Archetype.
Stuff like turn 1 Thornot Seer as well would be really good. And could potentially go the whole distance. There's Magus of the Moon. Turn 1 Magus of the Moon could win the game straight up. He's got Mana Crypt or... Let's see, what's he going to put back down? James has Island, which is a good... He's got Island and Brazen Borrower, so the Magus isn't going to do it this game. That's a good defense on James's part. Right, Michael, what's it going to be? Ventus Fair again, same as last game. Mana Vault, you've seen that a few times in a row. That's enough. You don't... Oh, unless he's got Trinisphere. That's Warm Power Stone. I'd play that. Definitely. I'd just jam the Warm Power Stone.
Yeah, otherwise it's pretty dead in your hand, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's Preordained just to filter. What's he going to look at? So unless he's under pressure, James is just going to build to the Oko and then just dominate. But we know Michael's got at least another mana in terms of the mountain. Is that top from James or? There we go, 4 mana. Oh, that's good. Lodestone Golem is really good against tempo deck.
Lodestone Golem is very, very good. Especially no days there, so I think there would have been a days on the Lodestone if James had it. But obviously, it goes without saying, it slows down the opponents. I mean, often they can find an answer for it, but first of all, what I find is they have to answer it straight away, like as opposed to another threat like a Thought Not Seer, where you can deploy your own threat and then untap and deal with the Thought Not here. Like you're pressured to immediately deal with the Lodestone Golem.
Yeah, well, James can't brazen petty theft it.
Yeah, exactly.
So Lodestone is at its best against tempo decks, where it's really because the tempo deck depends on its mana efficiency to do well.
Exactly, it feels like you're getting value even if it gets lightning bolted. It feels like you're getting value every time they ponder. So they go like ponder lightning bolt. Even though you haven't got any card advantage, you feel like you've gotten value because you've
taxed them 2 mana.
You've taxed them, well, yeah.
Or 2 turns.
2 turns, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously, Michael was missing the next land drop, and he had to decide: do I play Worn Power Stone and hope to hit the land so I can play Lodestone, or do I just play the Lodestone?
And it worked out for him.
He made the right choice, yeah. So he's crashed in. Here's the bounce. Oh, he's got
Tribal Flames, I reckon.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's techie. So would you Tribal Flames or Brazen Borrower there?
Well, I guess he's chosen Tribal Flames because he doesn't want it to come back down. But yeah, Brazen Borrower is very strong.
He wasn't going to come back down in a hurry.
Exactly, because of the mana vault.
And then you could
but maybe he just wants a more catch-all answer for some random artifact like Staff of Nin or something that crushes him.
Yeah, I suppose he's still got that out to anything.
He's thinking, well, Michael's multi 5. I'm probably going to win, assuming the game goes like into the mid game. I'm going to close it with Oko. I don't need to Tribal Flames to face in a pinch.
Yeah, I don't need Brazen Borrower as a threat because I can just Oko is my threat, and I can just keep Brazen Borrower as an out to some scary thing that might come down. Even though Oko is also an answer to most scary things.
Worn Power Stone. Would you Brazen Borrow Worn Power Stone here?
Yeah, for sure. Just for tempo.
What about Brazen Borrowing the thing that the Worn Power Stone's going to cast? Don't get me wrong, I like it because Worn Power Stone comes in tapped. If obviously if it was Soaring or it came down untapped, I wouldn't. But it comes in tapped. It takes a whole turn. Time Walk.
Yeah, I'd bounce it.
I think so.
Because they could play something with a cast trigger, like an Eldrazi or. Well, I suppose it can bounce everything.
Yeah, or an ETB trigger.
Yeah.
I don't think there's that much.
Sundering Titan.
Duplicate's a good one.
Yeah, Duplicate Sundering Titan. Yeah, so he's has bounced it for the tempo.
Yeah,
and,
I like that.
And getting tempo when you've got an active Planeswalker is really valuable. So this is what I mean about the ramp deck struggling against the cheap interaction, because you've got a 2-for-1 yourself just to deploy a big scary threat in terms of tapping the mana vault, and then if it gets answered, you're down on tempo and cards really. So,
well, that's right. And a Worn Power Stone, even though it's getting dealt with anyway, if that was a creature, then at least that creature can block. Or if it was like a Bloodbraid Elf, at least it gets its own value as it enters.
Yeah. You really need to go super big, like Ugin 8, and then just wipe the board or all this dust, or that's when you really feel like you're doing it. And we saw Michael do that in game 1 with the Sundering Titan and the lockout kind of element.
Well, and this is where James playing blue as well over other aggro decks, like traditional Zoo, is now that he's ahead, which happens all the time if you're playing aggro. Now that he's ahead, counters are really, really good.
There's Palace Jailer.
Brutal.
So he's used Palace Jailer to take out a land.
Yeah,
because he made the creature, and
it's pretty good.
It's kind of like a strip mine on a Palace Jailer.
Palace Jailer is a bit risky though. I don't think it's risky here, but it's a risky card to play. It's very swingy either way, especially if you lose Monarch. But I guess you're always going to be less likely to lose it.
That's Lightning Healing? Lightning Greaves, is it?
I think so. It's a weird artwork, but I think it's Lightning Greaves.
Yeah, I mean, James is just going to be big.
It's largely done, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know what Michael can do to get out. I mean, he's got to deal with the Oko. If he had like a red elemental blast left in his deck, he could at least neutralise that, but then he's still got to deal with the rest of the board. And the Monarch's just drawing James into gas.
Well, there's a 2-turn clock, isn't it?
Yeah.
With plenty of cards in hand. Even if Michael deployed any decent thing here, not that he could, I'm pretty confident there's 0 outs, right? Because even just End of Turn Brazen Borrower would eventually get there.
Yeah, and if you played like Steel Hellkite to try and like wipe the board, like Oko just makes it a 3/3. That's the power of Oko. He doesn't have all his dust in his deck because he's got red permanents. So, and he also need to find the mana to cast it. So, yeah, I mean, Michael mulled to 5 and he put in a good showing with the Loathsome Golem, but it just got dealt with. James had the threats to finish it off. There it is, the handshake.
Well, yeah, what
it went the way I expected.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah. But Michael put on a really good show in game 1, with just showing the crushing power of the deck. Then James just showed how like his metagame positioning in terms of tempo versus combo, in quote unquote.
That's right, especially if you're a new player and you're playing against a deck like Michael's, and you're like, how am I supposed to beat this? Why aren't I playing Sundering Titan? How's my Abyssin's Pilgrim going to line up? It just shows like, it's a bit more complicated than that, isn't it? And you can still just find little increments of advantage.
Yeah, so maybe if Michael emphasises like a mid-range element, like plays Bonecrusher Giant himself, or four drops like that medium red, like have an element of medium red, you might
Koth or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Or that, what was that 3/4 we were talking about before?
Tectonic Giant.
Yeah, something like that. Against like a tempo deck, you can just get it out with lands and kind of stabilise a bit, and not run into their interaction in terms of. So there's the sideboarding like Collect the Roof, Cinder Vines, Force of Vigor, Hydroblast.
And of course Hydroblast, yeah.
Stony Silence, Return to Nature, and what's that last one there?
Path to Exile.
Yeah, okay. So that's good. Again, yeah. So well done, James. All right, we'll see you guys in round 3.